afford to remind them of your race if you're going to get in. Because one thing about these groups, they are homogenous in terms of ethnicity. And they're generally also homogenous in terms of gender. That's the reason why they keep males of different ethnic groups out, and so far they've kept females out. I'm not approving this. This is the way it works, people. This is the way it goes. Okay? And so for a Negro male to get in there, he has to keep reminding them of what? I'm not different. Because he knows if they say, this is a Negro, they're going to let him get in. They'll make him vice president of special markets. That's right. When they let you in, then they're going to put you on the periphery. So you're in, but you're on the edge. Yeah. Negro markets, That's what it's about. Yeah. Because the central ethnic group of males is going to maintain and dominate that power center. Okay? The Chinese are doing it, everybody's doing it. But the Negro, why? But they give us that so that we can be sucked up and used, you see. Now what am I saying then? You look at the economic situation here. Africa is being completely shut out of the market. Reading here the other day about foreign direct investments going across the third world, Africa hardly receiving any. We sit here as African Americans, calling ourselves citizens. Africa is overloaded with debt. Africa will never get out of this place if it cannot pay those debts, if those debts are not knocked out. It's got more debt than it can ever pay. You see? And the United States sits in the world courts. Even the other Western Europeans are saying, look, why don't you forgive this debt so these nations can grow and develop? Reagan sat right there and said no, and it's still that situation right now. But they forgave the Mexican debt. They forgive the debt of Brazil. They forgive the debt of Argentina. They forgive Egyptian debt. They forgive everybody's debt but African debt. And yet, African people are the largest population in America, second to whites. Why? Because while we can march for South Africa and everything, and that's good, we won't also march and say, white boy, you are going to relieve these African nations of this debt so that they can use their wealth to develop and feed their people. But we're too busy getting Harvard MBAs that don't even talk about that. We're getting the white man's education because that's not the white man's problem. See, if you got a black MBA, that would be a part of what? Your problem. You do a doctoral thesis on it, a master's thesis on it. You see what I'm saying? You would look at it. But since that's not the white man's problem, you're not going to do a thesis on it. So the issue would be here, looking at our situation, how then must we reorganize our economic community? And once you start asking that question, you begin to realize that you need to build institutions over which you have what? Control, over which you are the certifiers. Screw the Harvard degree. It has nothing to do with it. The institutions that you develop must be appropriate to the problems we must solve. You understand? That's the way white folk do it. You see, it's not a mere accumulation of knowledge, a mere accumulation of skills. It is accumulation of skills and knowledge appropriate to solving problems. And it's an accumulation of knowledge that is relevant to those problems. We need a knowledge of what is going on in the African nation and in the African world, not merely in terms of history and tradition, but exactly what is the economic and political nature of Africa, what is the economic and political nature of African Americans, and let's see then what kind of knowledge and information and other things we need to develop to solve the kind of problems that both nations are facing as a people. And you need an institution that is built for that reason.
That's right.
Even black studies programs in regular universities will not do it. You got to come right up and have another thing going here. See, we have to understand this is what a people do. See, that's why I said earlier, equal education and all that stuff really is pointless. It's appropriate education. You see, we need to develop a Pan-African economic system badly if we're to create jobs for our people. You see, and if we're to survive. Brother told me the other day, well, the Zambians over there, they got oil in the land. They want to keep that oil under African control. Good. I got a problem. I want to come to a Black Studies department. And I want to pose this question. We want to keep this oil, and we want Africans on both sides to gain wealth and to create jobs, right? I want you to tell me then, I have a tanker of oil out here off the shore. How do I market that oil in the United States? That's the kind of knowledge I need to know. Okay, how do you sell oil? You know, what's the market? What's the deal? A BA in business ed ain't going to give you that. See? But whites can give that BA because they got boys already doing what? Doing the deal. So they just give them what? General knowledge. That's why you get Negroes with a BA degree don't know how to run a candy store. And so an appropriate education will not be so much that general degree. Yes, you need that too. But also very what? Specific knowledge and information. I want to know, how can I sell that tanker in the United States? Then I want to know, how the hell do I rent the tanker? Or how do I get it? How do I move it from the coast of Africa over here? What kind of insurance do I have to pay? What kind of other demands must I meet? Who can give me that information, African people? What institutes or institutions are available in the African community for those of us who want to do business so that we can use it? See, it takes more than studying ancient history, man, and heroes and stuff. That's a part of it, but you got to go deeper than that. See? You understand? Now, I got the ship over there in the Zambian coast or wherever. Now I got to ask what? How in the hell do I get it out of the ground? What is the engineering? What's the infrastructure? Are there highways there? What else has got to be done there? In other words, then I got to have 3 major sets of knowledge. Where is this being offered? The white boys don't have to offer it out there. They're already what? They're already doing it. So they just teach generalities. You see? And then when they discriminate against you and don't let you get those kind of jobs, you got an equal degree to them, but you don't have equal knowledge. You don't have equal abilities. It doesn't benefit. So Negro has been made to think that getting the same degree as white folk is equal education. You're crazy. That's not equal education. Education takes place on many different levels, not only in the university and the schools. The most important education takes place outside. It takes place by doing and being a part of something. So that these other ethnic groups, their kids can grow up in these grocery stores and candy stores and like a fish in water. They just learn to stock prices, and do wholesale and retail and the whole thing because what? They're there. They're a part of it. You see? But when a people do not have these kinds of businesses available to them, they don't have a critical mass of those businesses, they don't get then what appears to be an economic orientation spontaneously. No people gets that spontaneously. They are taught. But often they're taught either informally or what? Formally. So the black college, the black university, made, since we don't have a lot of people growing up in these stores doing these kind of things, we may have to teach very directly how to run a candy store. See, and some fool would say, you're lowering education. Well, screw you, it doesn't matter. I'm teaching what? What I need to what? No. To do what I have to do to solve my problem. You see, but we let other people whoop us. Well, you know, it's not the same as ours. You don't have the same degree in teaching you, and you know, we get all upset. And we wonder what's going on. We got to change our intentions. And so what happens when you want to become a master of the universe? You want to be able to think in a certain way and have the people who serve you think in a different way. When you look then at the thinking styles of whites and compare them to the thinking styles of blacks, you will see that those thinking styles are basically mirror images of each other. That the black thought style essentially complements the white thought style, because if we thought just alike, we would be at war.